Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second round of the KCG Can't Talk Touring Car World Tour. Today we are in Singapore at the Roads of Orchard, and we have maybe a few less cars than last time around on the track. However, I think the main race will still be quite interesting, as we still have Kezar, Ladler and Rooks to be in this race. We also would have a few new drivers, but unfortunately they either got held up from this race by other events taking place today or by feeling sick. In this case, get well to those feeling sick. And yeah, we are now through the practice sessions, which means qualifying will start in just a bit. And will be the same deal as last time around, so a longer qualifying session without tires resetting, so we will see people having to go back to the pits. We also have a new driver, Desti1978, who has done a few ranked races in Rennsport so far. He's also the first to come out of the pits, and he's driving the Audi, which is nice to see. Of course, there's still a bit of Hyundai dominance. But he's also the first to come out of the pits, as I said. Then of course we have Rooks to be and Dominic Ladler, who are both still in the pits, and Jason Kezar, aka Slow-Mo Dev. Maybe Orchard Road will be a track that suits him a bit more. Looked very good in practice, so see what he can do in qualifying. Meanwhile, Rooks to be also makes his way out of the pits. And yeah, the championship currently, of course, wide open. And we also have our two championship leaders, because they are equal on points with 26 points to their name, as we use a custom points scoring system in KCG, which you can always check on in the KCG channel on the Rennsport Discord or on the KCG Discord server, which you can find in the description of this live stream. They are both sitting on 26 points respectively, and I guess this race will determine a championship leader. Would be a huge surprise if they can pull it off again, what they did last time around, with ending up equal on points. But still, both in the championship lead and both in this race as well. Meanwhile, Jason Kezar is starting his first lap. And very much looking forward to see their fight on track. I think on this track, Ladler is looking pretty good, as it's a completely new track for Rooks to be. Might have done some practice laps, but of course a track unique to Rennsport. So outside of Rennsport you can't really get practice in. But also a very cool track in my opinion. We will also race this track next week on Friday for the ranked community event with the Mission R. So make sure to tune in for that one as well, because it will be a lot of action with those cars. Of course, much more horsepower than the TCR cars we are using here, as well as all-wheel drive. So you'll probably also see a few power slides here and there. However, coming back to KCG, as Kezar is now making his way through the final two turns of this track. Next week we won't have a Rennsport event, but we will be going back to Race Room for the GT Legacy event at Suzuka, which is a 2-hour race with older GT3 cars, which has been pretty much a favorite within the drivers pool. This lap wasn't valid by Kezar apparently. Let's see. Are going for a bit of a late break there. However, of course, very different cars to modern GT3s in terms of characteristics. And the week after, we will return to Rennsport for the next round over in America, because we will be driving Road Atlanta next with the TCR cars. Pretty much match made in heaven. The TCRs really drive beautifully there. And then it will already be time for the final race back in Germany. Back in Europe. Sorry. Because we will be driving the final race at Monza, and we've seen it times and times again. Monza and TCR, lots of action. We had the community event there with Kobanov having the fights with Major, Emma, Thunder. That was really a fun race. Meanwhile, Jason Kessar put in his first lap time, and Rokas TV just followed that up with a 1:18, going 3 seconds quicker. So he goes back to the pits now, and it's what I said previously. You will see that a lot, even though the tires are not as fragile as they used to be. And now Ladler out of the final turn. A 1:18.2, and it's only 2/10 between the two of them. Of course, still lots of time in this session left. Meanwhile, that's Destiny 1978 there in front of Ladler. Can't get by as smooth as he hoped to, but also doesn't abort the lap, so probably wasn't as bad. And Jason Kazar is going into the final 2 turns once more. Finishes the next lap, I think. Didn't see him go back to the pits. Crossed the line, and he improved. It's pretty much flat 121. Of course, top 3 in qualifying will get points as well. 3 for P1, 2 for P2, and 1 for P3. So they are also crucial for the championship in the end. Desti the only one to not have a lap time yet. Maybe this time around he will get one in. Meanwhile, that's Vox TB going into the pits, interestingly enough. See what Desti can do here on this lap. Now onto the back stretch. Very good overtaking opportunity with a bit of slipstream, and then you brake hard into this right-hander. A very long left-hander. Pretty much like a double apex turn, depending on the type of car. And you have this very tight complex you can overtake here, definitely. But it is tricky, because if you go off the optimal racing line, you will lose quite a lot of time due to the minimal space you have there to each side. And now through the final turn, look tidy. Cross the line. It's also 121. Meanwhile, Jason Kazar improved to 119.3. That's a big improvement on his lap time. Let's check on Rokas, because he's now on his outlap. So let's stay on board with him for one lap. You have this final turn where the wall on the exit is just coming towards you, sticking out. So very easy to misjudge where you want to exit. And then hard braking zone into turn 1, but you have good indicators there. Very good transition into the second turn. It takes a lot of curb, interestingly. Not everybody would do that. Then through the shadowy streets of Orchard. And then you have the first of the two right-handers a little bit touched with the wall, and then this exit is very crucial to get on the throttle very early for this pretty long backstretch. And then as said, this sometimes kind of double apex turn, in this case, not in this car. Then getting back on the power again for another longer straight. This braking zone is quite tricky, you don't have clear indicators of where to brake in those cars. But then it flows quite nicely out of the right-hander. And then as said, also like in the first of the two right-handers, the roll is just coming towards you. It's easy to misjudge, and welcome Domo to the stream. And Roxy improved to 117, the first 117 of the day, putting Dominik Ladler 6/10 down, but Dominik Ladler is now also through the final two turns. Can he improve on his lap time? Can he challenge Roxy for pole position? He's now coming across the line. And he does strike back, and what a lap time, a 117 flat, putting Roxy 6/10 down, nearly. Dominik Ladler saying, nope, mate, P1 is mine. We can also see how big the improvements are during this session. A bit of a touch with the wall there for Jason. Guess he couldn't improve on this lap, but Roxy again through the final two turns. Didn't go to the pits this time around, I think. Out of the final turn, going very close to the wall. Cross the line. Doesn't improve on this lap. But he also stays out for another one. There's also not too much time left. We still have 4 minutes in this session. So enough for roughly 3 laps. Depending on if you reset or not. There's Dusty. Giving way to Roxy, nice and tidy there. I think Roxy is aborting this lap. Maybe trying to cool the tires down on the fly. Seems like Roxy is staying out. Just trying to cool the tires down for another flying lap. See how much time is left. 3 minutes. Oh, lots of curb there. Fortunately, damage is disabled for now. Dusty is going into the pits, but Roxy onto another flying lap. Dominik Ladler out of the final turn. He didn't abort this lap, he pushed all the way through. Doesn't improve this time around though. Jason Gazar, can he improve on his lap? Not this time. So if they all stay out, they probably have 2 laps left to put in a valid lap time. Bit too early on the throttle there for Roxy. It's not ideal. Having a good run through the right-hander. But with a very good run through the tidy complex. Using as much track as he can on that exit. Going into the wall there. can see he's trying everything, but didn't yield a result for this lap. Can he finish another lap? It will be quite tight. Ladler is aborting his lap. He won't be able to put in another lap. Keza also parked it. Same goes for Desti. And I think Roxy is also aborting this lap. So those will be our final results. We have 3 points for Dominik Ladler with a huge pole lap. Then Roxy 2 points, and Jason Kazar, that's 1 point to his name. And for Desti 1978, there are 0 points in this qualifying session, but of course if he finishes the races, those will be at least a guaranteed 6 points. So now we will transition to the start of the race. And there we have them all lined up on the grid, waiting for the lights to go green. We can hear the engines rev up. And we go green in Orchard Road. Good start by all 3 Hyundais. Destiny not having the best start there. Rocks to be on the inside of Jason Kazau's braking very late. Can he go around the outside of the Dutchman? Rocks to be onto 2 wheels there. Still side by side. And Jason Kazar in front for a moment, but Roxy B with the up and under. Can he now outbrake Kazar into turn 3? He can. Oh, and I think there was a small touch between the 2 of them. I'm not sure on that. But Rox to be round in turn 3. Came a bit back across the nose of Kazar there. Who's now up into P2. But it's Lala leading the race. Speaking is hard, I know. And this would be huge for Lala. Those would be 9 points if it would finish like that. He would gain on Rogue Sibby. Of course, he would start race 2 in front. Rogue Sibby in front of Lala. As we have a reverse grid and Rogue Sibby already back up into 3rd position. This seems to have had a bit of an issue there. Seven seconds, 6 seconds the gap between Kazar and Roxy B. Of course, with the length of the race is 15 minutes. 20 minutes, I'm sorry. 20 minutes, of course. It is possible to make that up, but it's also not easy at all. You can see he's pushing. Of course, last time around we've seen a lot of back and forth. And Roxy B also winning the first race there. He profited of the collision from Lopez and Ladler. So unless Ladler does a mistake, he won't be getting close to him, but he can minimize the damage and also just use the position advantage he will have for race number 2. Dominic Ladler definitely pushing all the way through. Already 8 seconds gap, but the gap between Keza and DB has come down to 3.5 seconds. And Roxy already has him inside. Of course, there's still a lot of time left in this race. Oh, but just turning in too early. Or maybe he anticipated to go on the throttle earlier than he did. Has a good exit this time around though. But it is a bit inconsistent how he can gain the time to Keza, as he's sometimes gaining quite a lot, probably due to a mistake by the Canadian, but otherwise it's staying pretty much the same. We are still at 2.5 seconds between the two of them, even 3 seconds at times. So it's a bit hard if he can get on by pure pace. Meanwhile, up front, Dominic Ladler. He isn't building as much of a gap as he used to do in the early stages of the race, but of course he doesn't need to. Just driving it home safely now. In Orchard you can also see the beautiful new light engine for the cars. Of course it will be very interesting to see this track at night. Because we already have night, of course, in Spa. If you want to try that. Again, he just can't really get close. So we are approaching halfway. Oh, but RoxCB completely misbraking into turn 1 there. Of course, hard to get the car to stop when you're already too late onto the brakes. But this now basically means that Keza is free to go. Because making up 12 seconds in 12 minutes is kind of a hard task. Of course, very unfortunate for him, but he would start from the front row for race 2. Oh, and Jason Keza also very late on the brakes. Into the wall there at the exit of turn 1. And it seems like Dusty has parked his car. So he will be DNFing in this race. So he will stay on for the next one. This result would also, of course, push Jason Keza up into P3 in the championship standings. So we've been through the first half of the race. Gap between Keza and RoxCB is also not changing nearly enough to get close in the end. 11 seconds apart. He's making up a bit of time. It's not enough to get close to Keza and be a threat for P2. Meanwhile, I'm getting burned in the Wrenchbot Discord by none other than Tim Schreider. Can also see the gap between Dominic Lala and Keza, 20 seconds on the map to the top right of your screen. Of course, you can also always check live timings in the app. Also, the gap is coming down quite significantly now. It still doesn't look like it will be enough to get close in time, but depending on how bad Jason Kizar is burning through his tires, maybe there will be a chance. So the gap pretty much has stabilized again between Jason Kizar and Rokestabi. So we have, I think, 3 laps to go. Race 2 will probably yield a bit more action with Ladla starting in the back. See if Desti will return for the second race, let's hope so. Oh, Dominic Ladla going a bit deep, but getting it stopped in time. He's not holding back anything. He's pushing all the way through. course, this will also be very important for Rooks to be, as well as Jason Kizar, to get more practice in for the track, to not do stuff like this in the second race, especially for Rooks to be, because if he can keep it in front of Dominic Ladler, this will be major damage limitation. Dominic getting a bit of support by somebody conveniently named very similarly. What does? Not even similarly. Maybe there's a bit of bias, but Dominic Ladler came across the line in first to win race number 1. He will start from the back for race 2, of course. And Jason Kizar will be very happy with this, but you can see a bit of damage there on the front left of the car, so he's hit a wall quite hard. We are running 40% damage in this league. It's not too much, so even if you hit the wall, you still have a good fighting chance, but we want to experiment with it a bit. But Jason Kizar came in second, Rooks to be in third, and he will start next race up front. As per usual, I have to restart the game for the second race. And Dusty is in this race, so that's some good news. Denying that it has something to do with the name. Yep. So we'll have Dusty leading them on the start, followed by Rooks to be. It's maybe a jump on board with Dominic Ladler for the start, seen from a different perspective. Oh, and that's Dusty gone from the grid. Not sure what happened to him. Probably didn't set ready in time. So unfortunately he isn't part of race number 2 as well. But that means RoxDB is now leading this race. There we can see them getting for the race start. And we go green in Orchard Road. Good start by Ladler. Also good start by RoxDB. Jason Kizar on the outside of the Austrian. Oh, and Dominic Ladler with a huge send down the inside. Huge contact there between RoxDB and Dominic Ladler. Probably didn't see him there. RoxDB giving back the position though immediately. So very fair play by him there. And that now left Jason Kizar leading this race. Said Desti, unfortunately not part of this race. But that's no very interesting outcome. It's pretty much what happened in the first race at Hockenheim. It was also a huge send by Dominik Ladler down the inside, in all fairness. Now can Rokes get close to Ladler while he is fighting with Kizar? That would be very interesting. I think that's the first lap Kizar's leading in this championship. Can see how fast Ladler is through the tighter complexes of the track. Oh, and Kizar going wide there. Manages to get back to the racing line though. Will be hard to defend, of course, but nothing's impossible. Not doing a major mistake, that will be very crucial there. Dominik Ladler is getting right up into the wall. To the wall, not into the wall. And now down the inside. Through the fast right-hander. Can Kizar defend on the outside? Of course, the left-hander will favor him. But Ladler with a very good move down the outside then. And into P1. But Kizar's following closely. Now can Rokes in this race get close to Jason Kizar and overtake him as well? But he's definitely getting close. Bit of a touch with Walt, looked like. Bit weird. Having a look. So this race Rokes definitely in a much better shape. A bit wide there for the final two turns. Oh, and they touch, and it's pretty much the other way around. But it also looked like Kizar was coming back onto Rokes, who was on the inside line. Held his line, didn't slide to the outside, and Kizar just had a bit of oversteer, seemingly went off the throttle. And across the nose of Rokes. Of course, nothing you can do in both situations, but there is already the newer implementation of the damage model. It's at only 40%, of course, but I think that's already looking pretty good. Well, of course, it's not looking good for Jason Kizar in this case, but overall. Oh, braking very late there. Now can Rokes currently looks like he can actually hunt down Dominik Ladler a tiny bit. He's losing in the technical section, sector 2. But through the faster sweepers, it seems like he can get closer. Maybe, of course, also a result of the damage he carried in the first race. Oh, and hard into the wall there. So this doesn't result in too much damage for him. But, of course, in the first race he had damage from a similar contact in lap 1, where he got spun around. can see on those straights and the faster turns, the time is coming down. Meanwhile, also the Porsche Esports Career Cup Deutschland is live. Which is the reason why Joachim Thunder isn't here today, because he's driving the PECCD. Which is very cool to see that he made it. Let's take a look at Lala's car. Maybe you can see a bit of deformation on the front. If there's damage to the engine, we don't know yet. It's a bit hard to tell, but it seems like he is losing a bit of time on the straights. Of course, with the hard hit, RoxTB head into the wall. He might also carry some damage now at this stage. And welcome Tim to the chat. The one-man production team. Actually, I wonder if the PCCD, if you've watched that, also did something for them. Wonder if they already showed it or not. Because I couldn't watch, unfortunately. Yeah, pretty much is. See also Lala using everything he can in this track. I don't remember what I said. Sometimes I forget pretty quickly. So I also forget what you were referring to. If it has to do with PECCD, I did some work for them. Some video work. And I wonder if they already showed that on stream or not. But at this stage, RoxTB is not catching up at all. Oh, and RoxTB... That looks like a disconnect for the Dutchman. Joachim finished P9, that's very nice. And indeed, RoxTB is counted as a DNF. Now halfway through. I will try to get some... And now I think the game freezed completely. Oxyby just also saying a game crash. I wonder if it all crashed. So I'm just trying to get some info on what happened. It seems like both Lala and Kiza are still driving. Even though keeps crashing in a form. So I think that this will be a no points race in this case. I think that this race has to be counted as a DNF. Maybe I can get some info on what happened to the other two. It's also a situation we didn't have yet. Because it also keeps crashing at the same spot every time. So I'd say for today, I will give you an update on the Discord what will happen to the results. And until next week, where we will drive back in Race Room for a 2-hour race with Legacy GT cars. Make sure to tune in for that one as well. But I wish you a great weekend. Have a nice Saturday evening. And see you next time around. Next Rennsport event will be in 2 weeks. You will be updated through the channels respectively. And until then, have a great time.